Denver 8 TV, your city, your source.
We are here today to break ground at the former St. Anthony's Hospital site, and I'm going to be brief at the beginning and a little bit long at the end when I thank some people. I'd like to bring up a very important person who has made the process that we've gone through out here over these many months about as smooth as it could be. A huge champion for West Denver, Councilwoman Susan Shepard.
Good morning. Isn't this a fabulous day? Woo, I'm so excited. We have been waiting for this day for so long, and I couldn't be more pleased to be here today with all of you. I'm Councilwoman Susan Shepard, District 1, Northwest Denver. I would love to welcome you to the most exciting urban infill project that is happening in my district. There are several folks, my colleagues, that are here today as well that I would like to recognize. First of all, Councilwomen at Large, Robin Kinich. Also, Debbie Ortega. And Councilman Paul Lopez from Council District 3, West Denver. Thank you all for joining us. But before I go any farther, I really want to say that the star of the show today is Miss Nettie Moore. Look at her over there. Miss Nettie Moore in her beautiful pink outfit moved to this neighborhood in 1927 and has been advocating for West Colfax for decades and has been holding down the fort admirably. So give her a hand and you'll hear more from her later. It's so exciting to be on such an active construction site today. St. Anthony's Hospital held a special place in this community's heart for well over 100 years. They've been gone a relatively short period of time, but if you talk to folks that are from this neighborhood, so many people were born here, had injuries or illnesses or other issues that were treated here. Everyone that I have talked to that has lived here for such a long period of time has a special story about this place. Mine is that about 2010, I was having a wonderful special farm-to-table dinner in my home for a few of my special friends. My child, who was playing on the stairs, was messing around, fell down the stairs, cracked his head open. We rushed over to St. Anthony's at that moment. We were taken care of in 90 minutes, got back in time to enjoy dessert with the guests who were still at my house. So that's my personal story about St. Anthony's, and I know that many of you in this audience tonight have a special story as well. But today we're here to celebrate the next phase of the evolution of this site, and boy, do we have exciting things on tap. I'm just beyond thrilled. We're going to have, great new housing here. We're going to have wonderful community servicing businesses. We're going to have a cinema that will serve craft brews and allow you to eat wonderful scratch-made food while you enjoy your movie. So I couldn't be more excited about the services and the opportunities that are coming to this neighborhood. And I want to share a little bit about the West Colfax corridor, just to use as a frame for what we're hoping to celebrate and uplift here going forward. As many of you know who have lived in Denver for a long time, this corridor has been a blighted corridor for many decades now. There are many boarded up buildings on West Colfax. There's a preponderance of fast food and convenience stores and payday lending stores. I want to share with you a few statistics that I have gleaned from the census data in 2010, just to show you the challenges and the opportunities of this neighborhood. 80% of this corridor is Hispanic. Unemployment here is at 11%, twice as high, over twice as high as the rest of the city. 20% of the families that live in this corridor do not own a car. Many of those families cannot afford bus fare. Crime in this neighborhood, statistically speaking, is higher than both Sloan's Lake and West Highlands combined. Some of you may know that in the earlier part of this year, a neighbor was shopping at one of the convenience stores at Perry just down the road here and was held at gunpoint. This is a great celebratory day and I don't want to bring down the thing, but I want to say that this neighborhood deserves better, way better. Thank you. The promise and the opportunity of this unique development site is the opportunity to bring that investment and that revitalization into this corridor that will help create jobs and more housing units and senior housing and affordable housing and community servicing businesses that serve these residents something other than payday lending and fast food. So I am so excited about what we have the opportunity to catalyze here today by this development. And I know that Mayor Hancock also loves to talk about the opportunities of economic development and private investment and revitalization. So thank you so much for listening to me. And at this moment, I would like to very proudly introduce our mayor, Michael B. Hancock. Thank you.
Thank you all, and thank you, Councilwoman Shepherd. I want to first say at the very beginning that Councilman Lopez and I were back here, and we have a real guilty conscience about the fact they put us under tent, put all of you in the sun. But apparently not guilty enough, because you notice neither one of us came out here to stand with you. Absolutely proud to be here today. You know, we're so fortunate to be in a city that has not only rebounded from the recession, but is absolutely thriving right now. Just in the last 3 weeks, I have done groundbreaking ceremonies. In fact, we don't even fill them in anymore. We just put groundbreaking on the schedule, and we just figure out where we're going to go. And we just show up every day with it. But I want you to know I've stood with Councilwoman Sussman recently on 9th and Colorado, Councilman Lopez yesterday. I've stood with Councilwoman Shepherd now 2 times in the last 2 weeks, Councilman Brooks, Councilman Herndon, Councilman Brown, Councilwoman Robb, and Councilwoman Lehman. This city has a lot going on right now. I've thrown more dirt than probably any mayor in the history of this city, but proud of the fact that what's happening here, as Councilwoman Shepherd just talked about, the former hotel hospital that stood at this site served this city for over 100 years and decided to move on. And like Denver always does, we don't stand still. Within a year, there was an announcement. The city had a vision for moving forward. And today we're celebrating a new chapter in the rich history of the Sloan's Lake neighborhood. You know, it's not every day that you have a 7-block parcel available for infill development, let alone being right next door to one of our signature parks and adjacent to our major corridor like Colfax, and of course being next to or just a few blocks away from the pending RTD West Line, or the West Line is already rolling, but the station for coming off the West Line in this neighborhood and impacting the entire region. All the pieces are now in place for a strong future for this site. And it will be a magnet for new residents and maybe those looking to relocate. But we do know that the population, better known now, infamously known as the millennials, the 25 to 34-year-olds, this is going to be a pretty hot place for them. And they'll definitely find the thriving, vibrant, and active lifestyle that they live on here at this site. This site, as Councilwoman Shepherd mentioned, will bring a lot of new housing, rental and for sale, more than 100,000 square feet of new neighborhood retail and office space. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of this project is the role it is playing in revitalizing Colfax, West Colfax. And with that, to all the developers and investors and partners, thank you. So we didn't turn our back on West Colfax. Like so many have in the past, this project will anchor this part of part of the city, and anchor this part of Colfax with a new cinema and draft house. Let me once again just congratulate Councilwoman Shepherd in this community. Thank Councilwoman Kanish, Councilwoman Ortega, and Councilman Lopez for being here. Our former colleague and now our regional HUD administrator, The Honorable Rick Garcia is here as well. We want to thank Rick in the role of HUD here. Thank you so much, my friend. I want to thank all of the departments in the city who played a role in this, CPD, Public Works, and Development Services. I know the CEO of EFG is here. Ed Elingen is here. President Stuart Miner, and the entire Enviro finance group. We want to thank you for taking the lead on this project and for helping us to move forward with this very critical project and for doing business in the city of Denver. And by the way, we know you're a Denver business, and so we thank you for doing business in the city. And then finally, I just want to thank all the contractors who are going to be here. Fiora and Sons, Huspa and Associates, Arnell, Parson, Brinkerhoff, and a host of smaller contractors who are going to be working. So I think we want to get you guys out of the sun. So I think we're ready to throw some dirt. Ready to throw some dirt? Is that the next thing? Cameron, come on up. I have throw some dirt after this. But let me introduce Cameron Bertrand with EFG to come on forward. And then we'll throw some dirt.
There we go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks very much. I have a slightly longer list than the mayor, but I will be quick with it. My job is to a project like this, a size like this, doesn't happen overnight. We've been at it nonstop for about 18 months, and in that time, a 1 million square foot building went away. And over the next 18 months, another 1 million square feet of building is going to come our way. That's an awesome, awesome outcome and an awesome, awesome undertaking. And Enviro Finance Group did not do that even remotely on its own. So I just wanted to start by thanking where we started, which was with St. Anthony Centura Hospital and all the staff that worked with us as we got the property under contract, as they transitioned out of the building and we transitioned in. They were assisted by Romani Group and Gold Crown Management, specifically Eric Shaffron, Ray Baker, Michael Baker. Can't say enough about how smoothly that transition went. Within a day of buying this site, we had a fence around it, and that doesn't happen without real cooperation from the seller. The next piece of that, I think, is that in this last 18 months, we have pulled a dozen demo permits, created some urban renewal areas, created some metropolitan districts, processed dozens of site plans and engineering plans. And Mr. Mayor, I can't say enough about your administration. We live in the city and county building. We live in the Webb building, and your staff has been remarkable. I'd particularly like to call out Ralph Pettit at the surveyor's office, Jim Turner at Public Works, and Russ Price at Stormwater. This is a LEED Gold neighborhood. That doesn't come easy, and the staff at the City and County of Denver really had to work with us to make that possible. And there's 100 people I could thank, but those 3 individuals were really special to the process. On that list, I think Andrew Johnson at the Department of Finance and Tracy Huggins and her team at Dura that made all of those other agreements come together. We had a huge team. Fiore and Sons and Hudspeth knocked down 1 million square feet of building in a beautiful, beautiful fashion. Everybody there. Our architects at R&L, Rich Von Lerty, Matt Shawwalker in particular, I think has probably put in more hours on this project than there are in a year. Our engineers on the project were Parsons Brinkerhoff specifically. I'd like to thank Jamie Price and Jason Rutt and Jeff Killian. My own personal keeper and minder, Laura Aldrete. If the NSA really is tracking metadata, they've got a chart a mile long between Laura Aldrete's cell phone and the City and County building related to this project. So thank you to her. And then finally, NAI, Seamus Makovsky, Dorit, Hayden, and Evan have just been hugely helpful to us. The really exciting part of this is not the flat roads that you see here today and the buildings going away, but what's coming. And we took a chance on the west side of Denver, but the folks who are really taking a chance and who are going to really make this an awesome place are our development partners. I'd like to start with Matt Schilt and his team at Trammell Crow Residential. First one's in, building a 370-unit apartment building with ground floor retail right on Raleigh Street. We couldn't be happier. That's a building that's going to come out of the ground right behind you, literally in the next month or two. We're super excited about that. Anchoring Colfax, our friends at Littleton Capital Partners, in particular, Tim and Jonathan and their team and their partners at Weston, Dave and Tom, bringing us the Alamo Cinema and Draft House, and I think really sparking the revitalization of the west side of town. The Coleman Block Alliance is quite a menagerie of folks, but they're awesome to work with, and they're famous for taking on hard projects. Grant Bennett with Proximity Green, Joe Patton Ferd at Larimer Associates, and Joe Patton Jeff at Larimer Associates, and Ferd Bells at Fulham Wider, taking on that building back there. And our newest folks to the table, Nava Real Estate, Trevor Hines and Brian Levitt, are proposing to build the first for sale product, a condominium right here where that big pile of concrete is. So we can't say enough about those guys. And then I'd just like to finish on a personal note, on behalf of Ed and Stuart and the executive folks at Enviro Finance Group. We have an incredible team. We are 20 people deep all across the country, and everybody pitches in to make these kinds of projects happen. And the list is too long to say them by name, but we're super appreciative. And then finally, I'm going to finish where we started, which is this community. This community met us here 2 years ago. They've been with us every step of the way, 50 plus meetings. And so as I invite people up to the stage, I want to bring what I think is probably West Denver's, community member number one, Miss Nettie Moore. She brought her shovel, which I think broke ground on September 23rd, 1992. Was it the parking garage? Yeah. So Matt, if there's any construction defects in the parking garage, you know where to find her. Nettie brought some pictures up here, and did you want to say a quick word? A little history.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm not going to keep you too long, but I want to tell you, I've been out here since October of 1927, so I've seen it grow from mom and pop shops, Colfax Avenue, one way west, one way east, parking on each side. September of 1934, guess what? They widened Colfax. Some of the dirt went down to 1203 Utica and put in a street that dropped off into nothing. This is where I came from, and and I'm not going to talk a long time, but just one thing I want to just take a little bit of time. This here was put in the Sloan Lake Citizen Group. I guess they thought it was good enough, the poem, to put it in their flyer. May I read it to you, because it tells about the neighborhood. Of memories of, let me start over, memories of neighborhoods and friends. We will have memories of each coming year. What are we doing about the past we hold so dear? Memories of skating on Sloan's Lake, twists and turns we learned to make. Building memories of a day well spent, we learned how much our friends really meant. Only a few people had cars way back then, street cars and rides. Car 25, Erner Urban. Raised chickens for eggs and rabbits for meat. Coal oil lamps for light and coal stoves for cooking and heat. 12th Avenue and Utica Street, curbs and gutters, there were none. It was 2000 and 2001 before that project finally got done. Friends have grown up, moved on. The homes they lived in are now gone. Some of the pictures I have of now and then brings to life so very much again. The memories I have within my mind is a poem and legacy I leave behind. I leave my love and memories to each of you. Now be sure to keep your pictures and memories too. Love, Mom, grandmother, and friend, Nettie Moore. Good. I just want to tell you one thing. I have a lot of memory. I have 4 notebooks, 2 4-inch and 2 3-inch. It goes clear back to 1927 of my memories. So I have a legacy that sometime that all of you will be able to see how the neighborhood really grew. So I hope you enjoy what I've had to say, and thanks for letting me be here today. Thanks,
Thank you,
Danny.
Nettie. Everybody grab a hard hat and a shovel. and I'll count to three.
Come on, Natty.
If we'll get you a hut. There you go. We may have to share some shovels. We'll see.
Ed and
There you go.
Stuart.
There you go. You got it. It's a pretty
Ready.
shovel. Yeah, there
Long
you
time
go.
no see.
We may have enough with the. There you go. Here you go, Jude. There you go. There you go. Here we go. How we doing? All right. You guys line up. It's the only soft. All the dirt on this site, other than right here, is 95% Proctor moisture compacted. I just want to assure anybody from the Public Works Department who might be out here. All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, throw. All right. Thank you guys. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out. We appreciate it.
Denver 8 TV. Your city, your source.